You're watching CUNY TV, the City University of New York.
Here to take a look at the problem, we have two guests. Jibreel Jalloh, the president of the Flossy organization, created to empower Karnashi residents and bring more resources to the community. This is Let It Rip. Jibreel, what do you think about that?
That's a good point by Eric. I just think we need to get at the root causes of these issues. Why does this person dealing with mental health challenges in the first place? Is it something that had to do with their childhood? Is it something that the education system could have solved earlier on? I think when we discuss these issues, we try to intervene when it's already too late, when the person is already on the train, deranged, thinking about pushing another New Yorker on the tracks. By that time, society has already failed them. I think we need to really get at the root causes of these issues. And of course, Eric brought it up before, the pandemic exacerbated a lot of things that we're talking about. Folks are out of jobs, folks are dealing with stresses at home, and that all amplifies the root causes of violence. You know, poverty is rising because of the pandemic. Again, people are out of jobs because of the pandemic. There's just a lot more stresses that society is dealing with. And we're dealing with the one-in-a-century pandemic. We need society, we need the government to react in a one-in-a-century type of action, one-in-a-century type of investments to stop the effects of the pandemic that we're going to be dealing with for years to come. We may be, the virus may be, receding back, but the effects of it we're going to be dealing with a long time. So we just really need to address this one-in-a-century pandemic and all the effects of it with the one-in-a-century type of investment into our communities.
Now, the mayor is putting more cops into the subways. He's putting social workers into the subways. He wants to bring back the anti-gun units, though they will be in uniform this time around. Is the mayor on the mark with the way he's attacking this problem?
So he came out with a big blueprint with a lot of pieces. One of the things I like that he announced in his preliminary budget, I believe about a week ago, is universally funding SYEP, summer youth employment programs. I think that part of the plan hits it right on the head. We need to get our young folks busy with things that are productive, outlets where they can express themselves in productive ways. And number two, adding more funding for cure violence sites. Cure violence is one of the things my organization has fought for very hard. It was founded around 2015, 2014. Actually, Public Advocate Jamani William, then council member Jamani William, helped bring the program to the city. And just to explain it really briefly, credible messengers, people from the community who've had challenging past or been impacted by gun violence, reach out to those youth who may be high risk, reach out to those community members who may be high risk and mediate before the problem explodes. So I think the Summer Youth Employment Program, giving our young people things to do in the summer and also get some income, and cure violence sites, funding that more fully and invest in that much more. I think those 2 points really get to the root causes of violence, which is, again, poverty and joblessness.
But I can hear them across the city already saying, wait a minute, throwing money into that may not get it done because, the guy who's committing this crime in the subway is 48 years old. What's the summer jobs program going to do for him? How's that going to solve our problem? How would you respond to that sort of critique?
That's a good question. And I think it goes back to my earlier point of trying to help that individual at an earlier point. By the time he's 48, by the time he's on the platform thinking of pushing another New Yorker, it's already too late. We do need to intervene. We do need to make sure, even if we didn't get someone the services and the help they need early on, we need to come in at a later point. That is true. But I think just throwing more police in the subway and just coming at it with an iron fist, I don't think is the answer. Actually, last year, there was 3 shootings in Times Square, one of the most heavily policed areas in the entire United States. So just throwing police, having a omnipresence police force is not the solution. We need to have a more holistic approach.
And what do you think about that, Eric?
It's our goal to teach our generation, our next generation, and for our next generation to receive what we're teaching.
And what are you hearing from our youth, Jibreel, on this whole issue of interacting with police and crime?
For the folks I talk to in Canarsie and my community, they just really want an outlet. They just really want to have a space where they can focus on their dreams and aspirations. Again, the pandemic has had a devastating effect on our communities. The same communities who where it was historically disinvested by the government, is the same communities where the pandemic hit the hardest. So those youth, they're feeling a sense of hopelessness. That's why I'm so pleased by the administration truly investing in some youth employment programs. And we need to listen to the youth and give them more outlets. Eric said something about, we're at a war. I think, the real war and the real crime is government disinvestment. We're investing so much, billions of dollars into the NYPD. There are so many other programs, so many other things that society is dealing with. Homelessness, all-time high. Poverty, all-time high. Folks are having trouble putting food on the table. I can't tell you in Canarsie, the lines have grown longer in terms of food insecurity. So all that plays an effect. Someone's home, their mom or dad has to go to a food giveaway to come home and bring food on the table. Youth notice that. That brings stress into their household. So I just think, really to answer your question, what the youth want, they want a place to be able to go and work on their dreams and aspirations. And so many times in this community, the bar is set too low for them. The bar is set way too low for them. I speak to people on the block. They have big dreams. They have huge dreams, but they don't have an outlet for it.
We're out of time for the segment, but I got to ask you both. Are you hopeful?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's going to have to do it. Crime in the city will certainly be something that we'll keep an eye on in the coming weeks and months. I want to thank our guest, Jibreel Jalloh, the president of the Flossy organization, which was created to empower Canarsie residents, and the vice president of the Guardian Association, and an NYPD detective, Eric Blake. Thank you to both of you.